Bum, bum, bum. Crap, man. And Matt Ham. Party pooper.
Man, they better be glad I didn't just drop a freestyle in this motherfucker crap, man, because you already know. This is the Fake Stuff Podcast. Back at it again. And for those who don't know, back in the day, at the back of the bus, me and the Crab Man, we used to drop some bars on the reg. Did we not, Crab Man? Tell them we did.
Hey, man. Who do you think would win the freestyle battle nowadays, man? My vocabulary ain't as good as it once was when I was taking them English classes, because now all I do is drive UPS truck, and my vocabulary just went downhill, man. I try to freestyle, and then every time I get that drunk where I'm trying to rap, somebody wants to put that shit on Snapchat. I'm like, get that fucking phone out of my face, bro.
Get that shit out of my face.
I'm just trying to ride right now, and I can't do it with the phone in my face.
Hey, man, back in the day, man, I'll say this. I only freestyle now for the cousins in the circle, if you know what I mean. Whenever the poor man P. Miller wants to throw a beat, you know, I'm always there, man. I'm going to drop a little something, man. I got to. And it's funny. The Crap Man, I don't even know if you remember this. I remember the last time me and you freestyled together, man. I think my homie Jimmy Hughes, I think Bill was there. We was in the car jamming up there in Hollandville. Hey, you know what I'm talking about, though?
Car jamming.
Hey,
a lot of them
we used to go
that.
hard. Oh, man, so
Car
funny,
jamming
man.
is the best in life.
Man, we just sitting here talking, man. Crap Man popped up on the screen talking about this is the best hobby in the world right here. And I agree, man. I just want to say shout out to everybody who listens to the Fake Stuff Podcast and the Cruise Dynasty Podcast for all that time. I'm not going to spend too much time doing 5-star review, but please, man, if you would, 5-star review. And you know, we don't really, you know, we're not too, you know, how do I say it? We're not all,
with your mouth.
How do I say it, Crap Man? Basically, just say word of mouth, man. We're just a little community over here that likes playing fantasy football, and we're going to be doing more stuff in the off season. We'll be playing baseball together with each other and stuff like that. And you know, we're not like one of those podcasts that are about giving advice. Like, fuck the advice, you know what I'm saying? We just want to win some money and have some fun with the homies. You know what I'm saying? Craft Man, am I saying anything wrong here? But if you do want to hit us with a start-sit question, like Whale from SoCal. Crab Man, we was killing that shit. We was killing it. We was automatic.
Automatic.
Hey, man, that dude from California, he was really wanting some start-sit questions, and we were on point, 100% out of 100%. So send us y'all's questions. Not only does it give us more content to talk about, but you know, we just love trying to help you out on your fantasy. We want to hear you like send a comment in saying like, I won my fantasy championship because of you or whatever like that, even though that's probably
won't be because of you.
Yeah, it won't be because of me. Actually, I don't know, man.
You pretty close.
Could be.
You know,
you never know.
You know, I do say, you know, we got Potty Pooper on here. He'll be on. He was on the last episode. You'll be hearing him in all during the summer and stuff. I was gonna say, you know, really. Our only advice is C-Swizzy. He ain't on tonight, but he would 100% echo this. Is just do what the hell you want to do. Like, hey, if you go with your gut feelings, like you can ask and get some confirmation or whatever, but just play fantasy however you want to, because I know the other 3 people that I named, Noah Dick Blow, C-Swizzy, and poor man P. Miller, they do what the hell they want to do, and they're always in the mix for winning in that year. So just that's the main advice, man. Of course, ask us questions. Join the Discord if you really want the answer automatic. Matt Ham's there. I want to try to push that Discord up. You're just talking to some knuckleheads that don't do social media like that. We're just doing a podcast. This is our hobby. This is what we do. Big Dunk, too. Shout out to Big Dunk. Who else? Am I missing anybody on the team? Ian Potty Pooper? Man, hopefully we're going to add a couple more to the team. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Oh, Levi. Big White Snake.
Levi the White Snake with his punk ass. I hope he's listening to this. Never seen Hey, listen, man, I love me the White Snake. Never seen him in the playoffs. I ain't trying to hate. Never seen him there.
You are.
But I would love to have the White Snake back on here. He had him a little podcast rolling. He was killing that shit until Noah Dick Blower went on there and fucked it all up. So
the voodoo doll.
So here we are, back at it again with the fake stuff. We really just talking about some free agents tonight. Kraft's got the list in front of him, and we're just going to give our opinions. And this will probably be a short episode, or it could be a long one. You never know. But Kraft, man, if you wouldn't mind pulling out your list, giving us some free agents, and we'll talk about how it impacts the fake stuff and the real stuff.
All right. Well, we're going to get like in serious mode. No joking. No playing around. This is serious shit. I don't want no fucking jokes from you guys. All right, we got Sam Darnold up in this bitch. He's a free agent next year. And where do y'all think he ends up? He going to the Vikings? He's staying with the Vikings. Where's he going?
Jets.
To the Jets.
Oh, man. Bring it back, baby. Bring it back. And listen, since you brought up the Jets, I do want to say, man, all these organizations that draft a quarterback and just move on after 1 year, that's just some dumbass shit. Okay.
Crazy, right?
Now, where do I think Sam Darnold is going to do? Listen, I personally think Sam Darnold should take a team-friendly deal and stay with the Vikings. That's what I say. But unless you want to take another approach, you're like, man, I just put together this season. Somebody's going to offer me a good chunk of money. And if you want to go to some sorry-ass team with some dumbass organization, I mean, who would be willing to do something like that? That sounds like something like the Browns or somebody. The Jets, I wouldn't even be shocked. I would say like the Cardinals back in the day.
The Browns are going to draft a quarterback, and he's going to go there. He's going to be a great quarterback and get demolished.
So what do you say, Crab Man, about Sam Darnold? I say stay in Minnesota if I was him. But what do you say?
I mean, shit, I would take the biggest amount of money that I could get if I was Sam Darnold, because I'm not a good quarterback if I'm Sam Darnold. So I just take the money and run. I mean, I could say the Jets, maybe the Steelers, like Ian said in the previous one, the Browns. I mean, the Browns going to draft one, but they're still going to need some competition in the room. But yeah, there's a good chance that he does come back to the Vikings. I mean, if they don't overreact on the last two games, I mean, the dude won 14 games. But how do you get past that hump, you know? And everything's kind of under the spotlight when you're a team in the playoffs, where it's like, this dude is absolute trash. He played a terrible game, but guess what? He was in the playoffs. All y'all other sucky-ass teams wasn't even in there. So, you know, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Potty Pooper. What do you say?
Yeah, man. I feel like I agree a lot with what Austin is saying. Like, you take the money and run. Like, once you get to the playoffs, I don't know what Kirk Cousins did his first year in the playoffs, but I don't feel like it was that great. And I feel like Sam Darnold is, like, he showed signs of greatness. See, I mean, he won 14 games and he did it in an elite fashion, and in some cases, but he choked in the big games. and that's where you really consider the elite, man, is if you can win in the playoffs. Until you show it to me, you can't do it. You can make it there. That's good. You Dak Prescott at best. You know, so yeah. I feel like Jets. He's going to the Jets and he's going to die.
Even if he played well, like in the playoffs, like I think he would definitely for sure be going to Minnesota. And it's a lot of recency bias right now because this shit just happened. The last two games he was bad. But I mean, a lot of quarterbacks have two bad games in a row. So
yeah,
I could see with Matt, like I would say 50% come back with the Vikings, 50% go somewhere else. I mean, what do you think, Matt?
I think I'm with you 100%. I just think, you know, my philosophy when it comes to these NFL teams, like I just think they should treat the quarterback position different. Like I want to try to beef up my quarterback room. That's why when the Falcons did what they did, I know they paid Kirk Cousins all that money and then drafted Penix and everybody laughed except for me. See, I wish the Vikings would do.
The
Vikings should do the same thing. And like Daniel Jones, I mean, what? I mean, I know Daniel Jones flamed out of New York, but he did have a good year that one year, and they made him some money. I would love to add him to my staff and put him as my second quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I say the Vikings should want to bring Sam Darnold back at cost, obviously, because you can't just break the bank for somebody like Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? I know he had a great year.
Let's just say the second contract that Baker got. I mean, I ain't got it in front of my face, but I know the first year he signed with Tampa, it was like 1 year, $10 million. And that's around what Sam Darnold was worth this year. Let's just say he gets offered, 2 years with $25 million a year to come back with the Vikings. Do you think anybody's going to pay any more than that? What do you think he's worth at this point? Like, if you were another team, what would you pay to get Sam Darnold on your team?
Slightly less than the Baker Mayfield deal. I mean, I just don't even know if I would give – I mean, I would probably – I mean, what team is out there that has good pieces where I'd be willing to give Sam Darnold a Baker Mayfield deal? I mean, what is that team? I'm just trying to think of what that team is. I mean, there's not many organizations
Raiders?
with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's. Raiders?
No, not the Raiders.
The Seahawks? You want to move on from Geno? I mean, terrible. I don't know. I mean, who else? I don't know.
I don't know right now. It's hard to say. But I feel like Sam does demand attention at this point. And I think his best place is at the Vikings because he understands that offense and he knows it. And they got JJ McCarthy there. I think from an owner standpoint, I might sign Sam again and let JJ sit again, man. Because, I mean, you got to look. I mean, with the Jordan Love, home deals, they sat a few years, and it works out. Aaron Rodgers sat, and it works so much better if they can sit behind a veteran for a little while. And I'm not saying Sam's a veteran at all, but it's just you play the hot hand, man. And, I mean, I don't feel like you have to give him that much. I feel like you can give him less just because he wants to be there. So,
yeah.
I got Baker's contract in front of me. I was wrong about that. In 2023,
I want to guess real quick. Is it $3 million? 3 years, $45 million? 4 years.
He got paid in 2023, 1 year, $4 million. That was the year that was like, come in and prove it. And then after he proved it, got 3 years, $100 million.
Okay.
3 years, $100 million. So that's what, $33 million a year.
Yeah.
So
man, I wish I wouldn't have said, let me guess. I sound like a fucking idiot.
You were close.
All right. So I think I'm just going to say, if I'm Sam Darnold, I personally, as Sam Darnold, would want to stay with the Vikings unless somebody just offers me something that I just can't fucking refuse. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Sam Darnold, let's talk about Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he's a free agent also this year.
All right. Hell, Daniel Jones is one that I don't really know what to think about, because if I was, all these quarterbacks should do is always try to go find those organizations with offenses that you could actually have success. Like, Baker and them. Baker went to the Rams for half a year or whatever the hell it was. Like, you should want to go to somewhere. Daniel Jones to the Vikings. Like, if I'm Daniel Jones, I'd want to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I feel like Daniel Jones has already done that, though. Like, he's already gotten paid for not performing. He's already got the check for not doing shit.
Yeah, he made money.
I mean, I feel like they should do a swap. I feel like Vikings, Giants, but the Giants are going to draft somebody.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with that. Sam Darnold's just another one of them guys.
They're going to be free agents anyway, so that don't even matter. But yeah. Danny Dimes. I don't know, man.
I mean, what's his worth in Dynasty? Like, nothing?
Low.
I mean,
nothing.
I don't know.
Nothing.
I mean, how many of these guys really have success and go into these other organizations that have success like Baker just did? That shit really don't happen like that. I feel
it doesn't happen very often. I mean, Geno did that. I mean, there's a couple of guys. Stafford, I guess you could kind of say did that.
Yeah, but Stafford
Geno
ain't
was
on
kind of
these
a
guys'
backup.
level.
Yeah, Geno was kind of like a backup.
What's the name?
Who are you thinking of?
I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same Darnold. But
yeah, I mean,
Sam Darnold. Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't happen often.
Like, if I'm Danny Dimes, I just want to sign with whatever team has a good team that has a good offense where, hey, I could be that backup and come in. And like, if something happens to the starter, like, oh,
like
here
the
I am with these
49ers.
good weapons. Yeah, 49ers, hell yeah. The 49ers, everybody's always got questions about Brock Purdy and stuff.
I mean, but
Heck,
that's where
I
he
even
was.
got questions about him now.
That's where Sam Darnold was. So, like.
Well, I was talking about Daniel Jones, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm Daniel Jones, I'd want to go to San Fran or stay in Minnesota, or it might be a little more crowded in Minnesota if Sam Darnold stuck around. But
yeah, JJ's going to end up with that position, I feel like.
Like, here's what I would say. I would take, if I'm one of these quarterbacks that I was the franchise and it flamed out and it didn't work, I would rather go be a backup in a good organization than go be a starter for the Raiders or the Panthers, where after you flame out, it's over.
Yeah.
Done.
At least you get to train behind somebody who knows what they're doing, and you got a good offensive line.
Yeah, and when you come in, if something happens to the starter, here you are on a team that wants to win.
No expectations. You got no expectations.
So that's how I feel.
They're like, just don't throw an interception. That's like your biggest thing.
Give me another free agent crap, man.
Well, we'll talk about the Pittsburgh guys. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. They're both free agents.
Are they both free agents? Wow.
They're both free agents, so Pittsburgh got a decision to make. They're going to be picking pretty late in the draft. I mean, they made the playoffs, so they're probably going to be around like I don't even know, like 20th pick, something like that. So they're not going to be able to get a quarterback because Mike Tomlin, they made the playoffs. They keep winning. So what do you do with these guys? I mean, Russ is probably definitely more expensive than Justin Fields at this point. So I feel like
Fields. I'm going with Fields. I mean, I feel like Justin Fields is your best option if you have to choose between the two. I'm going Fields, man. He's the cheaper option. He's got high upside. He's got about the same downside as Russell Wilson, but you could sign him to a long contract for less money.
You're probably right on that. I mean, Russ has done made his money. He's probably going to demand more money. So
yeah,
man, he's done. Russ is cooked. He's cooked, bro.
I think they both cooked.
I mean, I think they are too. And I've defended Justin Fields for the most part, but it's like, Pittsburgh really thought Justin Fields. I mean, damn, they were winning with Justin Fields, and then said, give me Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't feel like Justin Fields is really all that sorry, but these NFL teams don't like something about him, and Pittsburgh is one of them that said they don't like something about him. Chicago, like, you could brush that to the side. You know what I'm saying? We come out here and shit on Chicago all the time. But when you go to Pittsburgh and what was Pittsburgh? I mean, what was Pittsburgh's record, like 4-1 at the time? Or I mean, they had had a winning record and they were being successful with Fields. Exactly. Like it. I mean, I don't know
exactly.
So and I just think they're both.
Like I said before, I mean, I feel like that came down to an administrative decision. Like, we paid for this. Like, I bought this air fryer. I'm gonna use this air fryer before I use my brand new oven that just got given to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with Russ is they wanted to bring him in to open up the pass game, but then you got George Pickens out there. And listen, I'm not saying it was all George.
Nobody.
Yeah, man, it ain't all George Pickens' fault, but George Pickens be out there acting like a fool, and he's out there dropping multiple passes, man. So,
man, be going off. I don't know what you're talking about. George Pickens be going the fuck
that
off.
Shit,
Go Dogs. Go Dogs, though.
Quay Walker jersey. I mean, George Pickens played pretty well for being in that damn situation this year. Attitude problems aside. He played pretty damn good.
Yeah. He definitely played good. All right, who we got next? Mac Jones.
Well, nah, I ain't gonna get into that, Ian.
Give me another one, Crab Man.
All right, I'll give you another one. Someone so much better than Mac Jones. Ian was just trying to Mason, motherfucking. I'm just kidding. All right, so we go
much better.
All right, so the free agents pretty much at QB position are backups at this point. Mac Jones, Jameis, Mariota. So we're gonna move on to receivers, and this is where dynasty,
the Red Rocket,
the dynasty leagues get hyped about receivers and figure out where this shit goes. So you got T. Higgins, the prize of all the teams. Is T? We done said. Matt, you said T. Higgins probably going to stay with Cincy. I think T. Higgins going to stay with Cincy. They sell jerseys. They sell, the fans come to the games because of the offense. It doesn't matter how bad the defense sucks. So why should he go anywhere else?
He shouldn't. He's got a great quarterback.
He shouldn't.
A good fan base. I mean, they're a few players, honestly, away from a playoff run. Yeah.
I mean, they can't stop going 0-4 in the first 4 games. That's their biggest problem.
Yep. I mean, their offense.
It ain't Burrow's fault. It ain't Higgins' fault. It ain't Chase's fault.
It ain't their fault, but when you're dropping 40 and you're still losing, personally,
and you got one of the best defenders in the league.
Hey, look, you know how where I stand on, like, if I was running an organization, like, I would not sign T. Higgins. I would have traded T. Higgins to try to get a buttload. But I don't think the Bengals are going to do that. Joe Burrow's been very vocal about wanting T. Higgins back. And Jamar Chase has said he wants T. Higgins back, but he definitely wants his piece too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
No shit.
So it's like,
if T. Higgins is there,
hey, so
if you put McMillan there, he ain't gonna get shit.
Hey, well, let's just switch it up. Let's just say I don't think T. Higgins ain't gonna be there. Let's just say he's gone. Now,
where does he go?
The team that wants to pay a lot of money and is willing to pay a lot of money is New England Patriots. You want to go over there with Drake May and all them guys? You'll be the number 1 guy. All right. Well, do you want to go to Jacksonville? You play with Trevor Lawrence in college. You can throw the ball deep. Play with Brian Thomas. You want to go to the Chiefs? I mean, I don't know. Where else you want to go? I mean, who's going to pay the buck? I mean, there's a lot of teams.
The Chiefs ain't paying. I don't think the Chiefs are paying.
Yeah, they're not going to pay all out.
And so I think the Bills,
Miami? No.
Like the Bills have done succeeded without one, so they're not going to do it. They're not going to pay a alpha like that after what they've done this year. I mean, I'm a Packers fan. I think the Packers and like the Patriots, like you said, are probably the 2 destinations that would even like contenders or think that are contenders to pay for a guy like that. The Steelers were in for Brandon Ayuk all offseason. The whole Brandon Ayuk saga, the Steelers were all in on that.
Right.
So
yeah, that's true.
But they got a receiver who is very similar to T. Higgins. I mean, George Pickens is that downfield threat, big body guy. Like,
man, that motherfucker ain't shit, man.
Man, chill, bro.
But you think he goes to the Steelers, though? I mean, they were willing to pay up for a lot of receivers in the offseason. So, I mean.
Well, it'll be his choice, correct? Or are they going to I did hear that they could franchise him again. It'll be a ton of money, though. So,
yeah.
You might as well sign him if it's going to be like that. You don't want to, but.
Man, can't say.
I don't know, man. I just say he stays. Yeah, that's true. I mean, hell, if he didn't have all his woes, I mean, heck, I was saying that's in fantasy-wise and dynasty-wise, that if he didn't do all that shit, come in and play one play and sit out the rest of the game and do all that crazy stuff, we'd probably be viewing him as at least a top tier 2 guy, if not one of these bottom tier 1 guy. I mean, heck, talent-wise, he's better than Amon-Ra.
I'm going to name a couple teams, and you tell me if you feel like T. Higgins would be a good fit as a number 1 receiver in that team. Arizona.
No,
I feel like they don't want that. No.
New Orleans.
I mean,
their salary cap's fucked. They can't afford T. Higgins. They're like $60 million over the cap to start next year.
Hey, the Saints are a perfect example of why I always believe these teams can keep these players. I just think the Saints, we'll pay you in 2028.
What are they doing? what the fuck are the Saints doing? They just paid Alvin Kamara. They paid Derek Carr all that money. Like, these dudes are
trash.
They are the worst organization as far as like money goes, because they keep thinking they can contend, and they ain't even close, and they're like the worst team in the NFL as far as salary cap goes. So
damn. Well, what about Vegas? He don't even want to go to Vegas.
They'd have to offer him just something.
Indianapolis? Indianapolis?
No, Michael Pittman making too much money. They done paid him.
I mean, there's really not a lot more places.
I think it's over with. He's staying in Cincy. That's just where
since you're the Patriots, I mean,
or the Packers. That's it.
Or the Packers.
Or the Packers. Or the Steelers.
Oh, that would be nice. Okay. There's a lot.
Or the Jaguars.
But since he ain't going to send him to the Steelers, the same division, so
yeah. Well, hell, it's over with. He's staying in Cincy. Give me another name. We all over that T. Higgins situation.
We're way past our time limit already, so let's just keep going.
We ain't got no motherfucking time limit on this podcast, Ian. We ain't big.
I'm not the one that said a 15-minute episode, okay? So
we didn't even finish the intro and bullshit until 15 minutes. So I mean,
exactly. I don't know what made you believe you could do a 15-minute episode with us, but let's go.
All right. Well, wide receivers we got left. We got Keenan. We got Hopkins. We got Diggs.
Diggs, I'm out on. I mean, he's a great player. A bit of a diva, but with that late career injury, man.
Yeah, I get the injury, but out of those three, he looked the best out of those three.
I mean, if he could stay in Houston, that'd be the best thing for him.
I mean, let's take a switch back to the fake shit and stop, get off the real shit to the fake shit. Do any of these guys have fantasy dynasty value? Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Hopkins, like, what's the value of these? What are even the value of these guys?
You're definitely not getting a first. You're not getting a first for these guys.
Oh, it ain't even close. So you're getting a second for these guys.
Well, my thing is would you sell him for a second? Like, I feel like Diggs was fine enough to where I would be like, I think I'd hold on to him if I had a competing team. But Hop and Keenan, I mean, man, Keenan needs to get out of there so my Roma Dunze predictions will come true. And then D-Hop, I mean, listen, I'm a Clemson fan. I think D-Hop was the best receiver in the league for years, and nobody wanted to talk about it. That he ain't that no more. You know what I'm saying? He's not even close to that. So they don't really have value. If you have them on your team, you're probably just got them on your squad into the flex, and they're gonna die on your bench, kind of like
Chris
and Travis Kelce.
Chris Godwin's just got to be the name that could be. He was having such a good year. I think he's the only name that could be like, what would you do with Godwin? Like, I just have no idea. I don't even know if he's going to be with the Bucs.
I feel like you could do a lot with Godwin. I feel like Godwin can be really, 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 really good. I feel like he could be a T. Higgins. I feel like he is a T. Higgins. You know? I mean, I feel like you should put him in the same realm as T. And
no.
I mean,
hell no.
You don't think so?
No, man. I love Chris Godwin, but
I do too. I like him a lot, but I mean, you can't off that injury.
Not in the same realm.
He's going to be T. Higgins is like 25 years old. Chris Godwin's going on 28, 29 years old. So, and he's still a slot guy. Like, he succeeds in the slot. They moved him back to the slot this year. That's why he was eating. So he would have to go to a team with a good quarterback that needs a slot receiver to even be relevant. And it's probably best he just stays with the Bucs. But with McMillan kind of doing his thing, shit, I don't know. I don't know where he's going to be. I have no idea. I can't even give you a landing spot for Chris Godwin right now.
Can't. I don't even know what to say about him, man. I just hope he recovers.
You sell him for a second?
I hope he does bounce back. Yeah, I'd sell him for a second. He's one of them I would.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd sell any of these guys for a second that we talked about, except for Diggs, maybe. And I'm not even saying Diggs is all that. I'm just saying Diggs looked good enough with – I mean, what if he took a team-friendly deal with Houston and stuck around? But
that's what he should do.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was him. But
let's get into some of these names that are trade candidates that you can actually like cut candidates and trade candidates that you can actually make something happen in a dynasty league. So cut candidates, you got Devante Adams, Christian Kirk, Deebo. That's pretty much the three names with the cut candidates. The trade candidates, Garrett Wilson, maybe, DK Metcalf. Let's talk about them guys.
Garrett Wilson is somebody that I would definitely be interested in, especially in Dynasty. I mean, the talent's there, and he's shown he could do it with multiple different quarterbacks. I mean, it's not a great organization, but Garrett Wilson is a great player. I feel like he would be a good trade candidate to try to get right now at a low price.
My thing is, if you want Garrett Wilson, you got to get him at that low price, and then probably expect that he's going to be sorry next year. There ain't no way Garrett Wilson has a good year next year. I mean, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be back, and I don't know what the Jets plan on doing. And I'm not even saying Aaron Rodgers is that good, but Garrett Wilson still finished top 10. I think he was like wide receiver 8 or something like that.
How do you feel about Devante?
Man, to hell with Devante. I'm just kidding. I just think Devante's going to go be on a competing team if he can. You know, he might go to the Steelers or something maybe. But I don't know. Like Garrett Wilson, like I think he's got a buy low window, but I just think if you wait till the end of the season next year, he's going to really have a buy low window because that dude ain't about to succeed next year.
In season next year? Then he'll be what, 27?
I mean, he ain't that old, is he? I mean, he's still a youngin', right? He can't be 27.
Who, Garrett Wilson?
Man.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson's like 24.
So he'll be like 25. So he'll be right like T. Him. So
right at that prime age of wide receivers. But
so when it comes to talent,
just following that path of just being relevant for fantasy, but he ain't what you want. I disagree with Ian saying he's a buy low. I think I'd sell Garrett Wilson because I don't think the Jets are going to figure it out, and I think Garrett Wilson's going to stay with the Jets. And I mean, I wouldn't sell him for cheap, but Garrett Wilson still got a big name. I mean, Dunk's been trying to ship his ass off since I traded him.
Yeah.
All he's got is his name right now. And he's got his name because of himself.
He's good as shit, though.
He's good as shit because of himself. Like, just imagine if he did get a good quarterback. Like, say, switch him and T. Higgins. If Garrett
he'd be going off.
Balling.
He'd be going off, but that ain't happening. He's with the Jets, and he's going to be with the Jets. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Jets have no reason to get rid of this man or nothing. Like, he's going to be a Jet. Just because if I will just say this, if Aaron Rodgers comes back with Devante Adams, Garrett Wilson will still be a Jet. That would probably be the best thing to happen.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know Garrett Wilson don't want to be there, but that'd probably be the best thing to happen as far as if you have Garrett Wilson on your fantasy team is just Aaron Rodgers and Devante, and they go out there and lose a bunch of games, throw the ball again. That's about it.
I mean, they were so close, man. They were so – no, they weren't. They weren't close. But on paper, they were close. They were so close.
On paper, because we all believed in them.
Yeah, no doubt.
No. Well, let's talk about these running backs real quick. So you got Aaron Jones. I mean, I'll throw Rico Dowdle out there. I think Rico's probably – his stock is diminished completely. You got J.K. Dobbins and Najee. Najee's interesting to me because I think that there's a chance that if these teams don't get a running back in the draft, like Cowboys, Broncos, like is there any way Najee ends up with them teams?
That'd be nice for Najee owners. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Dobbins. I think Dobbins had a great year as for what we was expecting. Like I wasn't expecting nothing from Dobbins. And damn, Dobbins went down at the worst time, and I needed him in the playoffs for fantasy. I was really needing his ass, but And I think Dobbins had a good year, but man, the Chargers definitely, man. Yeah, man, Chargers, they're gonna get a running back. I just gotta think that if this class is really heavy at running back, man, they're gonna get a running back this year. And I think the Dobbins experiments is over. And I got him as one of my main RBs in my main league. That joker's done, I think.
Sheesh. I want to touch back on Rico Dowdle. Like, is Rico Dowdle gonna pull a Tony Pollard? Like, is he gonna have a good year with Dallas, be the man the next year, which is next year, shit the bed, go to another team that's actually competent, and and be good, successful in another organization other than the Dallas Cowboys?
I think Rico. I mean, I really think Rico's done.
Do you think he's going to have a bad year next year, or just in total?
I think he's going to be a backup for another team. If not Dallas, he'll probably be the backup. I mean, shit, they were trying to roll out Zeke ahead of his ass. I mean, come on, Dallas. Like, put the best player on the field. Like,
I think Dobbins and Dowdle, they're cooked. And then Najee has a chance if he can get a landing spot. And then Aaron Jones, if he stays in Minnesota, will be fine. He would have another solid year. Extend that year of relevancy. You know what I'm saying? I would say this is the last year of Aaron Jones' relevancy, but he might could make it another year if he could.
We said that last year. I feel like I said that last year.
I did. So
it might have been because the Packers traded him away. I was like, that was his last year being good, and he balled out.
Yeah. He had a fine year this year. So I mean, if the Vikings want to bring it back and do it again and not draft anybody, then Aaron Jones got another year in him. But Najee, he's the one with the upside. And my thing is, I've been hating on Najee. Like, Najee had that good year when he was a rookie because Ben Roethlisberger dumped it off to him 80-something times. Mm-hmm. When you get 100 targets or whatever, that's what makes you good. Like, the dude's inefficient. Like, everybody wants to hate on Rachaad White. Well, fucking Najee was doing the same shit. Nobody wants to say anything about it, man. So, I don't know, man. Najee's going to get signed, though. I feel like he'll go somewhere. Know what I mean?
Oh, man. I see Ian talking, but he muted himself like that kind of dumbass down there.
Oh, I was wondering what you was looking at.
No, I was sitting there because Ian was talking. And I wanted to be quiet while Ian was talking, but shit, Ian was muted.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. What do you think about Jaylen Warren since we're talking about Najee Harris?
He'll just be the backup for whoever they bring in.
Really?
He's a restricted free agent, so he's probably going to come back. He ain't unrestricted, so he'll probably be back with the Steelers. And he ain't an every down back. I mean, I like Jaylen Warren.
I agree.
Hey, Jaylen Warren won me a championship one year, but yeah, man, that's nothing you can depend on.
Elijah Mitchell won me a championship one year.
Hey, man. Zamir White won me a championship.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What else we got, Crabman? Any more big ones?
No, not really. I mean, I think we're good on that. I mean, I got a couple. We talked about Devante a little bit in the last one. Kareem Hunt, he's probably done after he leaves Kansas City. The trades is what's going to be interesting to me, just to see what players get traded in the offseason. But this episode's been mostly speculation. So
yeah.
I mean, you can take what you want, but it still means a decent bit for Dynasty because, you can prey on that shit because most people think, these guys are going to the best-case scenario. Right. As soon as a rumor comes out, that's when you need to hop on that shit and just go ahead and maybe sell high. Sell high.
Well, see, we need to get one of them things where we add it. Sell high. Sell high. Because all right, then, well, shit, there's only one thing to do at a time like this, and that's just start the outro.
Hey, everybody, I thank you for coming into the Big Stuff Podcast. It's me, my boy, Crapman, Backman, Crew, Ham, and Ian, the Party Poopa. We come from the land of the Georgia, and we love the football. Please subscribe and 5 stars.
Hey. On YouTube, subscribe. We're trying to build them on your podcast. Add the podcast and tell a friend, man. That's all it is. Come have fun with us. Still going to do a Dynasty League. Still doing best balls. Come hop on it with us. I mean, we ain't had a dynasty league fail yet, have we, Crap Man?
We don't. No, we never fail. We always succeed.
We know plenty of losers that want to give us money to beat them in football.
There's a lot of them out there.
All right, Crap Man, anything you want to say, man?
Nah, man. Appreciate everybody for listening.
All right, then. I'm about to hop on out of here.
Peace.
Peace.